Welcome and good afternoon. My name is Martha Zaragoza Diaz, and I am the advocate for CABE, and I have been very pleased to be CABE's advocate for these many, many years. CABE is deeply honored to welcome our state's Chief Law Enforcement Officer and Defender of Civil and Immigrant Rights to CABE 2018. He has decades of experience serving the people of California through appointed and elected office. I first met the Attorney General when he was first elected as an assembly member. That's how long I've known him. Where he has fought for working families and issues to combat poverty among our hardworking families. As we have seen in recent days, he has taken the lead in California in defending and protecting the right of dreamers, DACA students, and their families. And most importantly, he is bilingual. Join us in welcoming our State Attorney General, a member of the CABE family, or familia, a friend and truly dedicated partner and leader in California and the nation, the Honorable Xavier Becerra.
Buenas tardes. I wish I could say it in about 5 other languages, but I am somewhat challenged. I'm only bilingual. I want to say thank you for having me, to Marta, who I have known for probably longer than she wants me to acknowledge. I got elected to the State Assembly to serve a district in Los Angeles County about 28 years ago. And I had a chance to work with CABE after I got elected, and it was one of my best experiences that I remember. So in many ways, now that I'm back in Sacramento in California, having been in Congress for 24 years, it's almost coming home. It's almost going full circle. So I just want to say to Marta, to Jan Correa, your CEO at CABE, and also, of course, to Elodio Ortega Laskin, your president of CABE, thank you very much for inviting me to come back home with you here today. You've heard from our State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson. You heard from our future State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurman. And of course, I stand between you and a movie star, Dolores Huerta, so I know better than to stay very long. And so let me just give you a few thoughts of someone who's no longer the young rebel when I got elected to the State Assembly and came here, but now having to periodically take a little rest and assess everything I've learned over the more than a quarter of a century of being a public servant. I've learned that there's nothing more precious than family. El hecho de que puedo hablar en español y comunicarme con ustedes sin tener que pensarlo es algo que yo aprecio como no saben. Y el hecho de que... Thank you. And the fact that I can, on a dime, flip right back and communicate with you again in English is a tribute to everything that CABE stands for and has worked towards, but it's really a tribute to Manuel and Maria Teresa Becerra, who taught me so well, even though they never had the chance to go on and get educated. And so I've learned a lot. I've learned so many things from my parents. They taught me to be respectful. I suspect all of us learned that, right? But I've learned that people earn respect. And so I have this immense respect for the United States of America because I'm the first in my family to have a chance to go on and get a college degree. I'm the first in my family to have an opportunity to become a licensed professional. I'm the first in my family to have an opportunity to send my parents to Washington to meet a president of the United States when my parents, when they were growing up, couldn't walk into restaurants because of the signs that said no dogs, Negroes, or Mexicans allowed. And so I've learned many things, and I respect this country because of its institutions. But let me explain what I mean, because the institutions of this country and of the state have not always been kind to people like us. I can probably explain it in two numbers, 187 and 227. And yet with all those challenges, with all that adversity, you want to find two of the proudest Americans in the United States of America? Come with me as I go back to see my parents in just a little while, who have lived here in Sacramento for over 6 decades. They have learned what it means to respect this country. And so while they couldn't walk into the restaurant to eat the food that my father had just finished picking when he was a farm worker, today they know that if they get into trouble, they don't just have to call an attorney, they can call the Attorney General of the state of California. Don't tell them that, because they'll really believe it. And when I filed a lawsuit against the federal government to defend the Dreamers who are under DACA, I didn't file that lawsuit because, as an attorney general, I could sue a guy who deserves to be sued. I didn't do it because someone was prodding me along saying, hey, you should do this, you should do this. I did it because I know those people who are Dreamers. I know them because they're my family. I grew up with them. They are me, and I must defend them. And even though no one thought we could succeed in that lawsuit, today those DACA Dreamers not only continue to be in status, but they can actually now reapply to get another 2 years under the DACA program. And so we did that, and then yesterday we announced that we were suing the same guy again, this time because he's decided to include in the U.S. Census form a question about citizenship, which maybe for those of us who were born in this country makes no difference. Yeah, we're citizens. Why not check the box? But if you are in the midst of a campaign being run by the person who's supposed to be in the Oval Office acting as president, who is creating a hostile environment for people who are immigrants, who are now fearful of giving any information to the federal government because they run the risk that maybe that will be used against them to go after them, then we run the risk that there will be many people who will not fill out the census form, which will then not only impact their lives, but impact our lives. Because how many dollars we get for our classroom depends on the census. How many dollars we get to fix our highways depends on the census. How many people we have representing us in Congress depends on the census. So I sued Donald Trump because not because I happen to be the 33rd Attorney General for the state of California, not because people say, hey, he's always doing these bad things to people. I sued him because those people who may not file that census form, I know them. They are my family. I live with them. I grew up with them. And so, as I said to you, at the end of the day, we do what we should, because if we grew up right, what we do as leaders will do because of what we were growing up. Show me a leader and I'll tell you that I can tell you where that leader will take you based on where he or she came from. And I will tell you where I came from, and I'm very proud of it, whether it's my roots in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, or whether it's, yeah. I always get cheers when I say that more because I think most people try to figure out where are the breaks in that Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. And it's all said in, and there's a lot of guas and but I'm bilingual, so I can do that. And so I conclude by telling you this. I know you. I know you because you are my family. I know you because I met you when I first came to CABE many moons ago. I know you because you are fighting for the same things I do. I know you because you have people who are fearful right now because of the environment that we're in. And I know you most because even if you're not the Attorney General for the state of California, I know you're going to fight. And maybe you won't sue, but you will fight in whatever ways you can. We're going to make this a better state because we're the ones that build this country and we're the ones that build this state. Do not stop. Congratulations to all of CABE. Thank you for letting me come and be with you as a family member. Muchas gracias.